Hey y'all, welcome back to the vlog. Today I am just going to tell you my pregnancy journey, pregnancy story. Um, so I'd say last year I had my son. He is now 1 year old. I found out I was pregnant in March, like the end of March. And so I took the test and it was early in the morning. I had been feeling nauseous and, wasn't really thinking too much into it because I didn't want to get my hopes up. But I took a test and I woke up my husband because it had come back positive. So I told him, and it was, early in the morning, and we had just taken it all in, just the two of us for a moment. And then I went back into the room and took pictures of it just to confirm and to save the moment. And then later on, we decided to tell his parents, which are my in-laws. So we told them, and they were really, really excited. And I decided to go ahead and tell everybody in my family, in our family, just because I knew that I couldn't wait. I was too excited. And I knew that everything was in God's hands. So whatever happened after that, that was it. So we told his parents, and then his mom called his aunt to come over because she lives close by. And so we told her and his uncle, and they were really excited. And then, if I remember this correctly, because it was a year ago, we told, I want to say my mom. Yes, we told my mom. We drove to her house, and we told her. I had actually gotten her like a gift bag. She had some purple shoes, and I actually matched. I found a shirt that said Grandma, so I matched that, and we took a video of her opening her gift. She was very, very, very excited. So that was the best. And my brother was there too. He was also excited. And then we went to my Mimi's house, and my aunt was there too. She had taken the day off. So we went over there and we told them. And I think if I remember correctly, I was like, you're going to be a great aunt, or you're a great aunt. Just something along those lines to give her the idea that she was going to be a great aunt. And so when we told them, they were really, 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 really excited too. And then I can't remember if I think we actually got together with my dad. Maybe a couple of days later or a week later. Actually, it was when I had gone to the doctor and I had gotten a ultrasound just to confirm. So we got the ultrasound and we confirmed that I was pregnant. So then I called my dad, and I was like, hey, we need to meet up. Let's have breakfast. And then we all sat around the table, and I was like, so I have a surprise. And then I pulled out the ultrasound, and my youngest sister that was sitting next to me, she instantly knew what it was, and they were so, so, so excited. And then we came back home and just relaxed for the day. And then as the pregnancy went on, I went to the doctor. Everything was normal. I do have a blood disorder. It's called immune thrombocytopenia. It's where my blood doesn't clot like it should. So doctor's visits were more frequent for me. So I'd see the hematologist, the regular doctor, all kinds of doctors. So as the pregnancy went on, I had to go to the hematologist once or twice a week at least. And that's about a 15-minute drive. It's not too long. And then, so they would check my blood count, and then they decided to put me on a steroid, just to help it along and to make sure the baby was okay. So I was on that for until the end of the pregnancy, until I had the baby. So I did that, and it was like tapered down. So I would take 10, and then I'd take 9 and 8, and so on. So I did that. They monitored me. I was resting as much as I could. And then I quit my job because I really wasn't sure how the pregnancy was going to go. Because my mom is, she had me and my brother, and it was the same pattern. So I took the precaution. I was just taking it easy. I didn't want the stress of a job, and I'm so lucky to be able to do that. So the whole pregnancy, I really just did my best to have a healthy baby. And then later on down the road, I was like getting more tired, and my feet were swelling. I was drinking a lot of water and propping my feet up, really all the normal, usual things of a pregnancy. And so I'd say about 7 months, the doctor was looking at me more, keeping an eye on me. It was getting closer to the end, and they did an ultrasound, and they said my son had a heart murmur. It wasn't too major, but it was something that they were going to keep an eye on. So they kept an eye on that, and I went back home that day, told everybody the updates. And so the closer it got to the end of the pregnancy, I was planning on having a C-section. And with my blood disorder, the doctor was really nervous about that. So that's why I had to have the steroids to kind of thicken my blood, I guess, or just to take a precaution for the surgery, because I knew I wanted to have the C-section. So I had the phone interview with the doctor, and we went ahead with that. And then I went to the doctor more and more frequently as I get closer. And so the last time I went to the doctor, he said, it really looks like you're going to have the baby soon. Really soon. So he walked out of the room and he talked to another doctor. And he called my other doctors that I had been seeing throughout the pregnancy. And so they decided, like, today was the day that I was going to go in the hospital. And so I left the doctor, and I made phone calls to my whole family, and I was like, okay, we're having the baby a month early. Yeah, so it's happening right now. And my dad lives out of town, so I had to call him, and he was like, okay, well, I'll, be there as soon as I can. So so I went home, packed my bag. I had a bag packed already, but I had added more to it. So I packed my bag, came back to the hospital. They admitted me, and they did all these tests, and I had 2 IVs in one arm and then 2 in another. They would come in, I don't know, every hour, every 2 hours, and they would prick my finger to watch my blood count. to make sure it wasn't any lower than it was. Because at the end of the pregnancy, the steroids just kind of leveled. It wasn't really doing much. So every hour or two, they would come in and prick my finger, check my blood pressure. I had the little suction thing, I don't know what they're called, blood pressure things on my ankles to keep it regulated, because I was in the bed a lot. And so they would check me, and then towards the end of the pregnancy, I had like 7 doctors come in all at once to prepare me for my C-section. You know, the hematologist was there, the delivery doctor was there, my regular doctor was on call, the oncologist, you know, all of that. Everybody was there to keep me safe and to make sure that things were going to go right. So they were all there. They planned out the C-section, and so they wheeled me back to the operating room. I remember the room was just bright, really bright, all these lights, all these machines and doctors and stuff. They put the gas on my face to make me go to sleep. I had to be put to sleep just because of the condition that I was in. But it worked out. It was totally fine. I did not mind being put to sleep. I think that's rare. I don't think many people are put to sleep for a C-section. It just was a thing for me. It was kind of sad because I didn't witness my son being born, but you know, after he came out, my husband came back to the room that they had put me in, and I remember him feeding me ice chips because my throat was so sore and so dry. But he said that the baby was fine, he was healthy, and his heart murmur had kind of slowed down, I think. He was 7 pounds, I think 13 ounces, and he was born like middle of the day. So that was perfect. Everybody was there, and the doctor came out to the family room, and they were like, who wants to see the baby? And of course the grandmas and the nanas were like, me. So that was fun. They got to see him, and then a couple hours later I got to see him. He was in the NICU actually for a week, and then I was still in the hospital for a week. He had to have oxygen, and his blood levels were checked, and they really just kept him safe in there. And while we were both still in the hospital, I was going to visit him as much as I could. I remember the roll down there to the NICU, and actually my mom had experienced the same thing with me. We took the same exact path for both of us. So we were in there for a week, and then a couple days after the week had gone by, I had come home, and we would still go up to the NICU to go see him. And then a couple days after that, he finally came home. It was so exciting. Such a very big day for the whole family. Everybody was here waiting, that could be here. And so now a year later, we are here in our house, and he is perfect. He is healthy. He is so smart. He is walking. He loves to eat. He loves Mickey Mouse, and we are just living day to day. And I'm so grateful that I have been able to be healthy enough and be here for my baby and be a mama and love him as much as I do. So that is my birth story, my pregnancy story. If you can relate, or if you have kids, let me know down in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe. All right, I will see you in another one. Bye.